Good evening, everyone. This is Kelly Ward, and we are here with part two of our Pages of Profits, selling books on Amazon and other platforms. And tonight we're going to go over the second part of our series. So a little about me. I live in the Houston, Texas area with my husband and 4 kids. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I started selling online in 2014. I've always loved books. I've been a bookworm and just, you know, so that's why I started selling books. I mean, you start with something you like, and I like books. So that's why I started selling books on Amazon and other places. So part one, we went over where to find books and what kind of books to get. And today we're going to talk about prepping, grading, and shipping your books. This is the kind of rough stuff, you got to do some work, but once you get a routine going, it doesn't take very long. This is just a little quote, how why I love books. They're always there for you, and you can go and get counseling and learn. That's why I love books. So we're going to start off with prepping your books. So what I mean by prepping your books is that you get them clean, there's many times when you open up a book, because the thrift stores usually don't clean them out. You open up books and you'll find tissue papers, you'll find airline tickets, you'll find, whatever the person was using for a bookmark, the receipt from the book when it was bought in 1986. You will find that kind of thing. I've found money before. That's always nice, make some instant profit right there. If you find money when you're cleaning out your book. So you clean out the pages. I look, flip through all the pages, and while I'm flipping through all the pages, I'm also looking for if there's any highlighting, any underlining, so I can keep that in mind when I'm gonna grade the book, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I also remove the thrift store price tags, and if there's any stickers on there, as long as it doesn't rip up the cover of the book, I'm gonna try to get those stickers off. If it's a textbook and it's got 15 used bookstore stickers on it, I don't worry about it. But if it has like one used bookstore sticker, I could take it off, and it could make that book go from being one level of grade up higher, which means you could sell it for higher. So that's why I try to get those stickers off. But if it's a textbook that's got 15 stickers on it, I can worry about it. We're also I wipe down the covers of the book, because you can take off some of that dirt and make it look a lot more presentable for your customers. Because if they get that book and it's looking all raunchy, they might send you a bad review. So I try to clean it up as best as I can. I just use dollar store cleaning, like cleaning wipes, like Lysol wipes. But I use the dollar store ones, and I can usually use one wipe and it'll last for a good while. You can also just take rubbing alcohol and spray it on a cleaning rag and use that. If you don't want to use the throwaway wipes, if you want just to have something that's reusable, a white rag with rubbing alcohol works too. And if you have trouble getting stickers off, you can use things like Goo Gone or Undo, or some people use lighter fluid to get those stickers off that are rubbing alcohol works too, to get those stickers off that just going to be stubborn. And then I also go through and kind of straighten out any pages that are, have dog-eared or kind of got folded when the last person was using the book. I just kind of get those straightened out so that it just looks more presentable for your customer when they get it from Amazon or when you ship it to them. And that's basically what basic prep is, just to get it cleaned up, straighten the pages, clean out anything that's in between the pages. So that's what I do first when I get my books home from the bookstore. So while we prep, like I said, a clean book leaves a better presentation for your customer. If they've been waiting for this book and it comes to them and it's ripped up, they open it up and there's a nasty tissue in there, they're not gonna be happy. They want it to look good, and it also can upgrade the condition. It can make a book full of stickers on the outside. You're not gonna be able to grade that very high. But if you got the stickers off and it looks brand new, that's gonna really change how you can grade your book when you are listing your books. So now we're going to talk about grading. This is important because when you're listing books on Amazon, it's different than when you're listing just normal products on Amazon, because you could, normal products you put new and you don't have to worry about it. Grading your books, you have to go by Amazon's standards, and they have on their website a condition guideline. And we're going to go over the condition guidelines, and then I'm going to go talk, why you have to under promise about your condition, so that it's you under promise and over deliver. That way your customer is kind of wowed. They're like, well, that's a really good book. That's not just falling apart book. They want, I won't want a book that's halfway falling apart when I want to read it. They want that book to be good, in good condition too. Like I said, Amazon has the specific guidelines. You can Google it or look it up, and we're going to go over them. A lot of people will go ahead and print them out so that they have them in front of them. I kind of keep it in my head, and usually I'm already grading books when I'm buying. We talked about that in the last session, that you go ahead and kind of start looking at the books when you're buying them and see what you think the grade's going to be. I don't list my books until I get home, because there's been times where like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a very good book, and then I get home and realize, oh, it's got writing in it I didn't see when I was at the store. So if I had listed it at the store, then I can't go back and edit that to change it, to change the grading. So I don't want to be getting trouble for sending a book that's good when I had it marked as like new. So I wait till I get home to list my books so I can go through them with a better eye than when I'm at the store, because at the store I'm trying to get through all those books at the thrift stores or at the bookstores, or where the library book sale, and you don't have time to sit there and flip through more pages. I do a quick look, but when you get home, you have more time to be able to look through those books and be able to get the proper grading done. So we'll start with new books. These are brand new copies that are, everything's intact. There's no markings. There's no bargain stickers on there, or any labels or nothing. That's new. Now, unless you get that book from a distributor, I do not list any books as new. I've had books that I picked up, they're still in saran wrap, still in, the factory sealed wrap. I still list them like new, because there's a lot of Amazon sellers, I believe it was like 2016, that lost their accounts because they were finding books that were in extremely good condition, and they were sending them in as new books when they were not new books. And then Amazon's like, well, I want to see your invoice from your distributor of these books. And they ended up getting their account suspended because they were, grading the books and saying that they were new when they weren't. And Amazon caught them. So I personally do not, even if I buy the book from Dollar Tree, off the Dollar Tree shelf, I do not list those as new books. Those go like new or very good, because sometimes they get a little shelfware on them. So I'm not going to risk my account. So just be aware of that. So we have used like new. So these have like little minor cosmetic defects. The dust cover, if it's a hardcover book and it has a dust jacket, it must be there. It can't be ripped. I mean, it looks like a brand new book, but it's not a brand new book. Or maybe you buy it from, I don't know, Barnes and Noble or Half Price Book or a bookstore, and it was new on their shelf. But like I said, I don't list anything new, so I'll put it like new. It says it may be missing bundled media. I try to keep anything, like if it has a CD, a book with a CD, if it's missing a CD, I don't list it as like new. I put that as good at highest. I try to, like I said, I'm gonna under promise and over deliver when I'm sending, these books out. Okay, now we have very good. This is mainly what I list my books at. So they can have little, just a little shelfware, minor shelfware on the outside. But no writings on the inside. I try to say, I have a, when you list, you'll say very good. I always put a description in to the little notes area. And usually my very good is that it says no writing, no highlighting, no underlining throughout the book, and minor shelfware on the cover of the book. That's basically my set notes for listing. I have a document saved with all my condition notes, and I just can copy paste, makes it go faster. But to know what my standards are for each grading, so that when I'm looking at a book, I can say that's what I consider good. That's what I consider very good. I'm maybe a little bit more picky than Amazon, so that my customer is happy when they get their books. Now, other two, good. For me, good means that the cover is intact, but it might have a slight wrinkle, or the corner might be kind of curled. It might be a ex-library book. It says limited notes and highlighting. For me, that means maybe 1 or 2 pages have a highlighting on it. Anything more than that, I put as acceptable. But if it's supposed to have a CD and it's like really good condition, but it's missing that CD, that's where I put them as good. Now, acceptable, that book, you can still read it. It's got it may have a lot of highlighting and writing, and in the cover may be curled. The dust jacket may be missing, but it's still readable. You can still be used. This is a lot. I usually only send in books that are acceptable, that are like textbooks, because people don't really care that the textbook has highlighting on it. Most of the time they like that because that gives them the answers to the questions. But you need to keep, some people just print off all these guidelines to keep them by their desk, so that they can build. They know what Amazon expects, and then you can just set your standards higher for your customers. Things that are not acceptable, that you cannot send into Amazon, or anything that's missing pages, could be that they scribbled out words in the book And they do not allow the sell advanced reading copies. As I mentioned that in the last session, that we can't sell advanced reading copies. They'll be printed on the cover of the book that is an advanced reading copy, and it's not, you can't resell it. You can't include uncorrected proofs or not yet published books. Those cannot be sent into Amazon at all. Like I said, make sure when you're grading your books that you remember to underpromise and overdeliver so that your customer is satisfied with that product. And a lot of times, if you're really wow them, they will leave you a review. Like, I've gotten some, they're like, this book was only mentioned as good, but this is like new condition. They were very happy with the condition of their book. And you gotta set your standards and be consistent on how you grade your books. You don't want to be going back and forth at how you set your standards. It's just like a referee. They're always changing what they decide what is a foul or not a foul. Then the players aren't going to be happy, and the people watching the game aren't going to be happy. So if you're always changing what you consider good and very good and like new, your customers are not going to be very happy because they're not going to get a consistent standard of book. And we'll talk about shipping in your books to Amazon. Now, if you're shipping it to Amazon FBA, you want to make sure all of the UPC codes are covered with a sticker, with a blank sticker. You want to put your FBA SKU sticker over the UPC, but sometimes the books has 2 or 3 other UPCs on there, so you gotta take extra blank stickers and just cover those up too, because you only want Amazon to scan your barcode. And this is a big debate between other booksellers. Polybagging your books, it's up to you. It's your business. Sometimes Amazon will specify that this book needs to be polybagged, and then you have to. But on the other time, it's up to you. For me, if it's an expensive book, I will polybag it. If it's just a regular book, $15 book, I'm not going to polybag it. I'm going, but I'm running a business and I got, save my money, so I'm not going to, if I'm sending in, a couple hundred books a month, that's going to add up with polybags. So for me, I don't only polybag collectible books. I only polybag a book that's going to be over $60 to sell, or something that's got, maybe it has like a CD or something. Now I don't want that CD to fall out. Then I'll polybag it so that it doesn't fall out and get lost somewhere in the warehouse. And your boxes that are being shipped into Amazon cannot weigh more than 50 pounds. So you have to be conscious of that, because usually your books seem to go to one warehouse. I just did 3 boxes of inventory today to go into Amazon, and all the books were in one of the boxes. So you have to keep track of the weight, and then make sure that you are properly taping up that box with a little extra tape. I always put a little extra tape on my boxes of books, because they add up weight quickly. And books do not qualify for the inventory placement program because they are one-offs. That means you're only sending usually only sending one of that book in. It's not too often that you find 2 or 3 of the same book, unless you get the Dollar Tree. But Amazon doesn't do inventory placement for one of the same type of items. So you can't use the Amazon inventory placement program with books. But usually they'll have you send mostly all your same books to the same area. Now, if you ship in books yourself, like Merchant Fulfill, or maybe you're doing selling some books on eBay, books can be shipped using media mail as long as they have more than 8 pages and they don't have any advertising them. Now, if it's like a book that has the advertising of the next book in the series coming out, that's fine. But they don't want magazines, they don't want catalogs or anything like that. I think even yearbooks can't be shipped media mail because they have, usually local stores and stuff will have advertising in the yearbook. So stuff like that cannot be shipped media mail. And if you ship media mail, a friend of mine got caught of this today. They uh, they charged him more because he had put a thank you note in there with his website on it. You can't have a thank you note with a website on it in media mail. You can have an invoice, and if there's any advertising invoice, that's fine. But no thank you cards with your website, etc. on there. Media mail may not weigh more than 70 pounds. You're like, well, that's a heavy book per se. But some people try to sell sets of books. They might try to sell a whole encyclopedia set. So if you try to sell a whole encyclopedia set, that's going to weigh more than 70 pounds. So you have to fit into the qualifications. You may ship media mail. It could be in a box or an envelope, but it's usually a set price for the, not like first class where you have zones to worry about. Media mail set price. If I'm shipping a book from here to California, it's going to be $275, or it's going to be $275 to Maine. It's the same price. It's not zone shipping like first class shipping is. So just to go over what we learned today, how prepping your books can increase what your book's worth is. You under promise and over deliver on your book's condition, and how to properly ship your books into either Amazon or to your customers. That's the 3 main points we learned today. I want to thank you for spending your time with me this afternoon so we can all learn how to put pages of profits to work and earn some money by selling books. And next we've got part 3. We're going to work with advanced book selling techniques. Work with more textbooks and school books, how to use local advertising to get more books, and buying books in bulk, and maybe even some more advanced book selling techniques. Until then, this is Kelly Ward. You have a good evening.